Hello, friends. It's Yaro and Adrian from the Friendly Show. We are back after visiting all the conferences, after doing so many talks with the different wonderful guests, and now it's just us. And I actually missed talking to you.
Yeah, hey everyone, how's it going? We actually came back from the conferences, and another bullet point I want to put after the conference on my schedule is chilling out, just being with the family and just, going back into a routine because I kind of miss it after all of the events.
Are you planning any other conferences this year?
No more. This year, no more conferences. We'll see about next year. I haven't, put anything. I actually have just one in my calendar, but probably will do less next year. We'll see.
So before talking to you, I was just checking the rubyconferences.org website, and the next conference is Ruby Banitsa Conference 2024 in Sofia,
Yes,
Bulgaria.
in December. Yep.
Yeah, and I had the impression that hey, I've already been there this year.
Yeah, I think it's a smaller kind of conference because they usually organize the user group in Sofia. And I think they want to make a bigger one, something between a meetup and between a meetup and a full-fledged conference. That's my impression. I'm just paraphrasing. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah, two conferences, two editions of the same conference per year is quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do. It's a lot to organize. Yeah, and to go.
So I've been following Avo on socials, and I see that every week, new blog posts are popping up. Most recently, I think about the meta tags, and I see you're getting guest authors for the blog posts. Can you tell more about it?
Yeah, sure. So we started. So we are building so many cool stuff, and we are, sometimes running into these scenarios where we kind of we figured out some things, and we thought some other people might need it, and we are writing some content about it, and we have. Ezequiel from South America, who's helping us with that, and he's writing most of the articles. He did an amazing series on active storage, actually, how the basic of active storage with S3, and then how to add a CDN, and then how to actually just use a CDN without impacting your Rails server, and now the meta tags, which we've used for a long time, and we have a few others that are coming in the next following weeks as well. So yeah, I think the content is something that we want to give back to the community, and something that will help us in the long run as well.
Yeah, talking of the meta tags jam, one of my favorite moments from the Rails World conference was when we were riding on a bus, and the guy sitting next to me says, "Hey, you look familiar. Stop! You made a video about my jam, about the meta tags jam."
Oh, that's awesome! I didn't know he was there. I just, dude, I wanted to meet him. I've been using that gem for a long time. It's one of my go-tos whenever I build a public app. So that's
Yeah,
great.
real nice guy. I think his name is Dmytro Stefeluk.
Okay, awesome. Next time, ping me. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So I see the Ezekiel.
Ezequiel, yes.
Ezekiel made a series about active storage. I'm just looking at the blog right now. Friendly ID, what's new in Rails 8? Talking of what's new in Rails 8, what excites you the most?
I think that's an interesting question. I think what excites me the most is ownership. I feel that the authors, DHH and the team, they actually now they figure out, okay, let's make this better because we have a few areas where we can improve, the team and the community as well. And I think this is part of ownership, Solid, everything, Kamal and all of the new cool additions. These just set a mark that Rails is here to stay. It's going to improve the defaults. It's going to help you actually build a hello world, but actually get to a IPO as well. So I think there's not one particular feature that I was mostly expecting, but seeing everything that's happening, like Rails 5 to 6 was 6 to 7 was a little bit better, but 7 to 8, this is a great freaking release.
Well, no, for me, like Rails 4 to 5, little change. I think they added active storage and action text. Rails 5 to 6, the biggest change was replacing SP rockets with Webpack, and this was quite awful. My least favorite version of Rails is Rails 6. Rails 7, wonderful moving back to SP rockets and having Hotwire. So Rails 7 is my favorite version of Rails, and 8, it's mostly infrastructure changes. So like how you deploy your apps, or like what the background tooling is, like for job processing, for cache. So not so visible in the like daily development process.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the solid frameworks, like solid cache, especially. It solves so many problems. Like you can just use your, SQLite or even Postgres database if you want to. So that's amazing. And solid Q, another great release. Like it really solves a lot of problems that many people had over the years.
Yeah, and like with having all the solid frameworks, you kind of don't need Redis anymore, and you can have just one database. And I've already been playing with it with SupeRails, so I kind of did not include Redis at all. I just did all the job processing, everything in Postgres, and I was using like gem good job, kind of background jobs for Postgres, and the app works well without Redis.
That's awesome. Did you also use a solid cable? Do you also use that?
No, I think I put Postgres as the cable processor.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it kind of works.
Look into that. Yeah, definitely. What's your favorite? What do you think about authentication?
So I recently made a video about Authentication Zero, a gem by Lazario Nixon, where he basically built everything Rails authentication generator could want to have included. So maybe, I mean, there's quite a long way to go, I think, for Rails 8 authentication to have all the same features, but it's still a long way to go to be able to use Rails 8 authentication generator in production, let's say it this way. So for now, I'm going to prefer other tools. But what I really like about Rails 8 authentication generator is that it is kind of session-based. So a user has many sessions, and you have like current session, and you deduce the current user through the current session. So it is easy to see like all the places where you are logged in and log out remotely. I think it's a good approach.
I agree. I love that as well. So recently we changed the registration flow on Avo HQ and .io, and we are using device there, and it was kind of a pain. We spoke a little bit about it, but I probably approached it the wrong way initially. But one thing that I wanted to say is, like, I heard DHH in one podcast say, like, the registration is something for the reader to exercise. And, I kind of like, I would love to have something out of the box, some simple, email and user authenticate registration. But it's so true. Once you want to get into something a little bit more custom, it just takes so much effort. Have to think on so many things. So it's good to have like training wheels, but once you want to get off of them, it's not an easy task to do. That's what I wanted to say.
So I just tried creating a new account on Avo, and I see that first of all, you just ask for the email, and the user should confirm his email to proceed.
Yeah. And then after you confirm the email, you go through what we call like the regular registration. It's kind of like an onboarding session where, we ask for your name and a few other things. And then we create the account and, redirect it to the dashboard or something.
And did you override the device controllers, or did you go another approach?
That was the initial, idea. It was just, just ignore this here, just ignore this there. I was telling device like, okay, now switch it like this and then redirect there. But, hold this param into memory. Like, oh my God, that was so freaking difficult. And then we had a talk and you said like, no, just use a different flow. And then like you build your own, email registration form, and then you send the email, you set up the confirmation and everything, and then let the user go through the regular registration, the regular device registration process, which was actually the way to go from the start.
Yeah. So from my experience, it's better not to override the default registration flow in device, and if you want to have something before, just do it in a separate modal, and don't try to override the device controllers themselves too much.
Yes. Well, once you get into something more custom, then you just can't help it. Like I know that most apps need something, and that's it. Like user and password and the regular stuff. But sometimes you want a little bit more. But I understand why it's difficult to override. I understand, and I accept that. It's not like it's devices.
I don't really understand. So you first made it so that the user just submits his email and he has to confirm to continue. Why didn't you just use device confirmable that the user kind of creates his account, but he cannot not log in until he confirms his email?
Yeah, we want to make it as frictionless as possible. So you have to, in order to use confirmable, the user would have to use a password and enter their name and then other things. And we want to capture that after the actual email registration process. So after we capture the email, so the user is, it's a little bit more invested and they will want to go through the full onboarding flow.
Yeah, and also with requiring like email confirmations, I've had some problems that it can be in the spam folder of the user, and he can not access the email in an obvious way, so he might not be able to even log into the app.
We understand that. I think it's a little bit more obvious this way because the user just entered their email. So the only thing that they can do. So the page tells them like go into your inbox and click that link, because otherwise you won't.
Don't forget to check the spam folder.
And don't forget to check the spam. But login works in the usual way with email and password. So that I hate magic links. I don't like them. They're just so freaking disruptive. That's how I feel about it. So I don't want to do that. So the users can still log in with email and password.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also see that you keep posting links to the Avo Office Hours, and I think I watched one of these videos. How's it going in general? Like, are you getting value from it? Are the people that join getting value?
Dude, yeah, it's so cool. It's so fun. So I think we're one of those projects that we like to communicate what we do a lot with our users and our customer base. So every time we do a release, I go to that video where we talk about what changed, what was fixed, what was broken, what was added, and so on. And then we are quite transparent. We have like our roadmap public and everything else. But we wanted to do a little bit more, and we wanted to like actually talk to the users a little bit more. And we added these office hour sessions. We just said, okay, let's see what happens. We'll do an office hours. We put up like a Google form or something, and people, 10 people signed up. And what we do there, it's generally like once every 2 months, maybe. It's not very regular. And we talk a little bit more about what we're working on right now, and we show people a little bit more of what's behind the scenes. And sometimes I show like quick tips, and then we do this. Then we have a conversation. We ask people, okay, what's your feedback? Would you use this? Would you use that? Do you have other problems, other issues, other things that you'd see improved? You'd like to see improved with Avo? And we have this conversation that we generally it's a little bit difficult to have on Twitter, or on GitHub repos, or on Discord. On a Discord server, it's face to face. We talk about things, we show things, we have access. I can share my screen and I can show them, okay, this is what happens, and this is so. I think overall it's a very positive feedback. I think the people are getting value as well. We are getting value as well, and we love being in touch with our users and customers. So yeah, I know you were thinking about doing some office hours.
Yeah, so last week I asked in socials, like, would people be interested in joining SupeRails Office Hours?
Yeah.
And my idea was that we could like just talk about any Ruby on Rails related problems people that join have. So
Yeah.
like they can just ask any question, or we can discuss anything.
Yeah.
I might also have some specific topics, like today we're going to talk about multi-tenancy, or today we're going to talk about Hotwire Native. But I think I'm going to start with just like open questions and see how it goes.
That's awesome. You know what you could do? You could do something like, okay, what did I release in all this period? Like, you talked about Turbo Native, or authentication, and like you can start with that. If people have any questions about that, because that information is still fresh in their heads, and they're still thinking about it. So that could be like a good starter. But I think this is a cool thing you're doing for everyone, for your community.
Yeah, I'm thinking of announcing the first workshop. No, I think not workshop, but meetup, or office hours this week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You should do that. Speaking of SupeRails, how's SupeRails PRO going?
Yeah,
I've been seeing some changes there.
Yeah, so I've been doing SupeRails for like 4 years now, and just this summer I launched SupeRails PRO, so some videos are available only to paid subscribers, and these are usually videos that I spend like the most effort on researching for. So like how to do something specific to like French legal stuff, like French banking APIs, or invoice APIs, or Hotwire Native. So like more unique topics that require a lot of research.
Yeah.
And I've got a few subscribers that I'm very thankful and grateful to. They keep me really motivated.
That's awesome. I bet that's a great feeling to know that people, I don't want to say appreciate your work, because I'm sure that everybody, a lot of people appreciate your work, but they are basically paying for it, and I think that feels really nice, right?
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling, and like I'm kind of trying to direct more visitors to SupeRails.com than to YouTube. So I release all the videos on SupeRails much earlier than I do on YouTube.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't know you should have that on the banner or somewhere. I don't know if you have it or not. Like, check SupeRails.com for early. Do you have any release schedule, like new video every Monday or something, or you just wing it, and whenever you have something you put it up?
Yeah, I know others have regular release schedules, like one video per week, like one pro, one regular video. I don't have a release schedule. I record something and I put it straight out to SupeRails, and on YouTube I do it like every few days. So like on YouTube I try to have some distance between the videos.
That's awesome. That's really good. Tell me a little bit about Hotwire Native, because it's super hot right now. I know it's,
Hotwire is hot.
Yes, exactly. It's very, sexy to talk about, but I feel like, because I've been trying it out a little bit, and I feel like there are still some unknowns there, and this really feels like something that you put a lot of research into it. Have you used it also professionally?
Yeah, so the whole point was that around May, a client that I was working with said that I need a mobile app for my fintech platform. And Yaro, find a way. So the obvious approach was to go with Hotwire Native, and I basically had an app in test flight. It's like the pre-release version of an app that people can already download and use on their phone and test it out. So I had this in like 3 weeks since I started, and then took the most time to just make the app look good on a small screen. So you need to like write responsive CSS, because the whole app was just built for like giant screens of the developers that were working on it. So I put a lot of effort into make it like the app itself mobile responsive. But otherwise, the Hotwire Native part wasn't that hard. The app review part was more complicated. So we had the authentication with email and with Google, and they like app review said that they also require authentication with Apple.
Okay.
And also they said that you've got a paid version of the app, so we want you to be able to pay us the App Store cut. And I was debating that it is impossible to subscribe on mobile. It is a reader app, so people can subscribe only on the web, but on the mobile they can only log in. They cannot even create an account. And I think Basecamp does the same with their apps. So you can only log into an existing account on mobile, but like you can create an account or you can pay on the web.
Yeah, it's the age-old story. Yeah,
but with Hotwire Native, I mean, the barrier has never been lower to create mobile apps as a Rails developer. And frankly speaking, you don't really need to know Swift to release an iOS app.
That's great. That's great news. Do you have this covered in your Hotwire Native / Turbo Native now series or videos?
Yeah, so I've got like around 15 videos so far. The first like 7 of them, I guess, are about Turbo Native. So I would kind of disregard the iOS part of these videos, but the Rails part is still valid.
Okay.
And my latest videos are all about Hotwire Native. So it kind of the difference between Turbo Native and Hotwire Native is that Hotwire Native has a lot of more boilerplate already included in it. So like the setup of a new iOS app or like Android app is much easier. So like getting started is easier, and the main time consuming part will be on making your Rails app look good on mobile and maybe use some native components. So my last few videos are about like using different types of native rich components, previously Strata components.
Yeah. So basically, if you have the app responsive, it's if it's already responsive, half of the work is done, more than half. And
you then just add some behaviors that like this is visible only on the web or this is visible only on mobile. Then you add like tab navigation on mobile, so you select which tabs you want to
use.
What are the names of the tabs going to be and where they're going to lead. And you basically push this app to test flight, you test it on your phone, you go through app review, and you launch the app. The barrier has never been smaller.
I remember in Toronto, one night after we came from the conference, we used you put Avo on native, and that was so cool. It's to see it in the simulator and work, and you know that was awesome. Yeah, it really looks really cool. But there's another thing I want to ask you. What's the deal with Moneygun? Because I've seen you talk about it, and I think it's something sweet.
Yeah. So most of the consulting clients I've worked with over the years, they kind of have multi-tenancy applications, basically multiple organizations can have people that can log in with different roles and have access to only the data within this organization.
Yeah.
So kind of I created a couple of videos about multi-tenancy in the past, how you can set it up. There are also a few gems like Milia acts as tenant,
Yeah.
and
Apartment.
hmm?
Apartment is another
Yeah.
gem.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Well, apartment is if you want to have separate databases for each
Why?
client.
I mean, not why, but there's such a small subset of apps that really need that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think apartment was the popular approach around 2015.
Yeah. Us engineers, sometimes we jump for these cool stuff, these cool things so fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's yeah, go for it.
I made this first video. It is episode 115 of SupeRails about creating multi-tenancy from zero, and I wanted to go deeper and actually turn it into a boilerplate or an example application. How you can have the whole like users that can belong to multiple organizations with different roles and inviting users to organizations work. So I kind
Yeah.
of built this boilerplate application. I wrote a load of tests on it, and people can now either start new applications based on it or use it as inspiration for how they build their multi-tenancy. There's also like Jumpstart, or there's Business Class Kit by Joseph Stibney. There's Bullet Train.
Bullet
All
Train.
of them I think are good, but this is kind of a very those are kind of SaaS starter kits, but this is like a multi-tenancy starter kit, so it doesn't have anything except multi-tenancy, at least for the moment.
That's awesome. I was thinking about something like that because not all apps are SaaS apps, right? Some are internal tools, some are, projects that you build like POCs or whatever. Not all, but most of them, you'd want multi-tenancy, you'd want, a good registration flow, you'd want some things set up out of the box for you, but they're not all SaaS. So I think it's a great freaking idea that you're putting this out there. We definitely need this at Avo.
Yeah, and a couple of days ago, I had the first community contribution to Moneygun. So, guy found some test that was passing in the wrong way and fixed it.
That's awesome. Like it wasn't even something visible on the screen. It was like, I checked out your tests, and something was broken there. You weren't paying attention. Let me just fix it for you. That was just awesome.
Yeah, that really made my day.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out because we need something like that. So yeah, thanks for putting this out there. Are you thinking about making it a steady release cycle, building it as a product, or you're just winging it for now and just let's have it out there and see what people say about it?
So I have a couple of SaaS ideas that I wanted to pursue for quite a while, and I'm going to use Moneygun as the boilerplate based on which I'm going to launch these apps and maybe improve Moneygun along the way, and people can also use it.
That's awesome.
So
we
have Jumpstart, that is a great tool. It's like a premium, not open source boilerplate, and this is going to be kind of an open source boilerplate.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and talking of non-SaaS apps, so I've been playing around with Avo last week. Actually, it's a fun story. So last week I tried to list all the Ruby on Rails front-end component libraries.
Okay.
So I wrote a blog post about them, and so far I think I have 8 or 9 component libraries in my blog post, and that's a lot. Like 8 to 9 different component libraries in Ruby on Rails.
It's a lot, yeah.
So there's kind of a race to build the best one that everybody will use.
I feel the race. Yeah.
So okay, I've got like a list of tools. maybe I should build a directory, and this would be like one of the categories in the directory. So I thought, okay, maybe like I don't want to build the front end or whatever. Maybe I just use Avo, and Avo is going to be not like just an admin part. Avo is going to be what people see.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. That's why you
I
were pinging me.
yeah. So the idea is that you just like the admin kind of just puts links to the websites, and
Okay.
the tool gets all the data about them, takes screenshots or displays open graph images, and you can like put different tools in different categories, and yeah, just build a directory based on Avo.
That is
So
awesome. Is that
yeah.
public? I want to see it.
I didn't even push it to GitHub yet, but yeah, I think I'll make it available this week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we can host it on our end if you want to. So yeah, I want to see this up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like the idea of having like Avo MVPs and like
Right.
Avo Directory MVP.
Yep.
So
We've been playing around with that idea as well. We have a couple of ideas. We have a list of things that we can build. Me and Paul and also Lucian, and we're thinking about something like that. We want to build, so we want to rebuild the demo website too, because we have a few of them now. It's not just the one Avo demo website. We have one for ticketing, one for Kanban, one for audit logging. So multiple things. So you want to build kind of this directory kind of structure. Basically, a directory. Where could we find something like that? A
my
directory
directory can host links to
to the
tools in
directory.
your directory.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey,
So
why
yeah,
don't I build a directory of directories?
directory as a service. Is that a business?
I've actually seen people post on Twitter around like, yeah, building directory builders. So like you can
Yeah.
buy
Oh,
that tool and create a
build your
directory.
own and build your own
Yeah.
directory. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, man. Tell me whatever whatever I can do to help. That sounds like a super fun project to build.
Mm. Yeah,
What?
and Black
Yeah,
Friday is coming up. Is
yeah, yeah.
Avo going to do any promotions?
Yes, we are. We're just uploading the. I was just working on that today. We're gonna have 15% off perpetually, which is something that we don't really do that much. It usually we just discount the purchase price, but now it's like 15% off year over year. So that's a pretty good deal. We've had quite a lot of people purchase Avo last year, so it seems that people want Black Friday with Avo as well. Are you doing something with
Uh,
SupeRails?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I don't really know what the best thing to do is. So if you, dear listener, have like any ideas of what a SupeRails promotion can be, let me know. But I was thinking of making like a lifetime subscription option for Black Friday, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And you can have it discounted at, I don't know, maybe 350 or 450 or something like that. And that sounds like a nice deal. So it sounds like a nice deal to me. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Everybody, if you, dear listener, please send in your feedback. Yeah, and for Avo as well. If you think about the cool thing, I was thinking about you. You could do like office hours for like as a service, and you can try and have like a Black Friday deal. Like, okay, this is how much, and you can have me like for a few hours or something to talk to your team, something like that on like Turbo Native or something.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
Yeah. What's Okay, so what are you doing next? What are your plans? What are you focusing on next to this end of the year and starting of the next one?
Mm. Yeah, so talking of personal projects, it's like SupeRails as usual. So just releasing videos about interesting challenges I have recently solved. So it's number one. Number two, I think this week I will finish with Avo Directory Builder. Number three, maybe something on Moneygun. I mean, I've already done released everything I had in my initial vision, the multi-tenancy boilerplate, and maybe something else will come up. Otherwise, I am thinking of what my next work should be. So now I'm finishing work with my long-term client that I've been working with for like a year, and I'm planning to post like on Twitter actually after our call that I'm open to opportunities.
That's awesome. So you're available. That's awesome. So if there's anybody out there that needs a very skilled developer slash mentor or educator as well, Hotwire Native and Hotwire in general, like you're their man. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I think you won't be on the market for too long. So it's a good thing that you've mentioned it. Yeah, looking forward to seeing it on Twitter as well.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Adrian.
Cool. Yeah, it was great catching up. I don't know when we'll see each other next time. We don't have anything else planned.
No, well, it's definitely going to be on some conference.
Maybe or maybe not. Who knows? You never know. Maybe we'll make a trip.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you next time.
Cool. Thank you, everybody, for listening. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.